started. So, welcome everyone to our first quarterly meeting of the year. Happy New Year and welcome. We want to thank the VFW for hosting us again, and this is the first of 4 quarterlies this year. So if, in case you're wondering, our quarterlies are going to be every 3 months, the third Tuesday of that month. So the next one will be in April, and then in July, and then in October. So it's a regular cadence. It still manages to creep up on us. But again, Happy New Year. My name is Jeremy Williams. For those of you I haven't had a chance to meet, I'm the president of West Hill Community Association. And we have a few things on our agenda today. We're going to go through just a recap of the things that we were able to accomplish during the 2018 year, and then a preview of some of the things that we're going to be doing for 2019. We have a number of community reports from organizations within the community, as well as a couple of guest speakers from the new Department of Local Services, as well as HealthPoint. And then afterwards, we will open up to any community concerns, so that'll be the broad open floor Q&A. And then if you haven't already, make sure that you've got a raffle ticket for a prize drawing at the end. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to bring up our treasurer, Devin Chikris, to walk us through the accomplishments for 2018, as well as a preview of 2019. Oh, and I'm sorry, before I do that, Chief, could I have you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Or Captain?
Well, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
And what are we doing now?
We're just pledging allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and Devin, if you would.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. How do I follow that? Ooh, okay, like Jeremy said, I'm Devin. I'm the treasurer for the board. I've been on here for a little while, and really excited to see all the things we were able to get done in just the last year. So with that said, I wanted to flip through a few of those really quickly to show you guys, because a lot of you folks, who here has donated any money to West Hill Community Association? Whoa, all right, okay. Who here has volunteered time, either at a cleanup? Okay, fantastic. Who here has been to our meetings before? All right. Who is on one of our social medias or newsletter? Okay, wonderful. So you guys have all been a part of this. So let's celebrate together and take a little look past our 2018 history. So very quickly, and there's lots of pictures, I promise. More pictures than numbers. All right. So here we go. This year we did a lot of board development work. That sounds boring as heck, I know. But for us it was really exciting, because what that means is, as an organization that's been around since 1991, it gives us the opportunity to kind of go and look at the board and figure out how we can work better for you guys. One of those things was developing a new mission statement. Our mission is to create a more engaged, informed, and vibrant West Hill. I didn't need to look at that, I already had it memorized, I promise. Why that's important is because it lays out exactly why we're doing what we do. And so I'm going to show you guys what that actually means. So part of the mission statement, it said doing engagement, right? How do we increase engagement? Well, we do it by informing, connecting with the community. We do it through doing things like going out to the community, doing different outreach events and activities. And so this is kind of that first half of the mission statement and the things we did. So, like I promised, very few numbers, but really quickly I wanted to shout these at you guys because I'm pretty proud of what we were able to do. We have several mailing lists. Those mailing lists range from our neighborhood newsletter to our West Hill Action Mob email alerts and our Skyway Outdoor Cinema alerts. Does anybody have any of those that go to their inbox right now? Okay, a few folks have it. If you don't, guess what? You can go on that table over there by Margie, and she has an email sign up all you gotta do is plunk your first name and your email address, and if you ever get bored of them, you can always unsubscribe. But there's some good stuff in there. But 1,500 other of your neighbors are on there right now, so see what they're getting. We also have a combined Facebook reach for our West Hill Community Association page and Skyway Outdoor Cinema page of about 2,700. And we have either hosted meetings or different events in the community, about over 30 of them in the last year alone. I'm tired. We're all pretty exhausted. It was a lot. But pretty good, solid outreach. One of the specific things that we did was about voter education, and this was really the first year that we really focused on this as an initiative. And so really quickly, what does that mean? We did all kinds of events and activities like Skyway Outdoor Cinema, made it a centerpiece of our pre-show. How many folks went to Skyway Outdoor Cinema? Okay, so you probably saw Jeremy out there, Margie out there talking about voter education. We also, for the first time, partnered with youth. So we went to both Renton High School and Tally High School, and we said, give us your best and brightest. And we worked with them to develop photos, essays, videos they created. They did tabling in their common areas. They got folks registered. It was amazing. Actually, I don't say partner, like we didn't do much. We just asked them if they could do it, and they did it. And they did an amazing job. So it was really, really exciting to work with them this year. And we did National Voter Registration Day. Shout out to Cliff up there. And we also had a voter town hall. Did anybody make it to our voter town hall this year? Cool, all right. Yeah, so it was kind of fun. We brought in some candidates. We brought in a lot of pizza, and we just saw what happened. It was kind of a cool, low-key event. You know, you go to a lot of election, debates and things like that. They get kind of a little vicious. This one, we just figured out who was a nerd or not in high school. So, culmination of all that voter education stuff, what happened? Okay, well, throughout the 5 months that we did this work, we ended up getting so many registrations, it accounted for about 20% of all new registrations in this area. So it's huge. We engaged over 2,700 people in person, face to face. If you counted online, if you counted the folks, our youth advocates, people that they were talking to just in their schools alone, that's not even included in that number. So it'd be way, way more. This midterm was the biggest in 50 years for turnout. So I don't know how much we contributed to that, but I gotta think it was a little bit. Another thing we started were coffee hours. So at the library, we've been doing these community coffee hours where they're just super low key. Just a few folks get around a table. We have top hot coffee and donuts and chat about whatever is on folks' minds, and usually we'll bring in some special guests. And we actually have another one coming up on February 9th. So the other half of that mission statement was events, right? Is creating a more vibrant neighborhood. So we do that by hosting free events that are accessible to the whole community. And a few of those I'll go through. The first one's West Hill Action Mob, WHAM, right? So that is our community cleanup parties. And we had a couple last year. Look at those folks. We got a whole bunch of trash cleaned up in the Sky Business District. It was pretty fun. We had a good time, even when it was pouring rain. Shout out to all those guys that joined us for that one. That was a tough one. All right, Skyway Outdoor Cinema. We brought this up briefly just a minute ago, but this is kind of one of our highlights of the year. It's an annual festival, do it 4 times in August, and it's a free event. We'll have food trucks. We have events and activities. We have pre-show fun. We have prizes. Of course, we have a movie. So we did, this was from Coco, our first night, which was super fun. We had Folklore Konatsen did like this amazing performances, and they taught us how to do the dances, and even got to wear some of the costumes. We did Wonder Woman, and there was something about a kitten on a leash, which was a highlight of my life. We did Jumanji, which had a hula hoop competition, which is something I'm envious of and can never accomplish. And we did Black Panther, and ended up having 3 Black Panthers on set. It was amazing, including this 4-year-old Black Panther who made my life. And one big event that we've kind of started doing in the last couple of years is called the Bowling Alley Takeover. And essentially what that is we set up carnival games, we have prizes and treats, and we did a treat trail this year. We had karaoke, we had a photo booth, we had baby dinosaurs, we had all kinds of things. It was so much fun. Pumpkin decorating, these are some shots for our photo booth. If you guys missed any of these things, you can go to My West Hill on Facebook and look through all of our photo albums. They are amazing. Okay, so all that said, we've done a lot of things, right? A lot of cool things. So what does that mean in terms of money? Because a lot of you guys raised your hand and you said, we're donors, we support you guys. So what do we do with that money? Here's a quick recap, because I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of numbers since we don't have much time, and no one here came for numbers. So this is a little bit about 2017 versus 18, and then the projection for 2019. So in the light blue, you'll see 2017. You'll see everything went up a little bit for 2018. So this is our total revenue. Here are our expenses just for programming, those things that you just saw. And then here's our overhead, which I would say probably 75% of this is insurance, right? Very little for everything else. So we run really, really lean. And the reason why the projection is so high for 2019 for program expenses is because we usually kind of double things. Because if we were to pay full price for everything, that's what it would cost. What ends up happening is that we work our butts off to find folks that will donate in kind, businesses that will sponsor, things like that, and we end up shrinking it down to here. So it's a lot of work, but we really, really value those donations, and we make sure to stretch every dollar. So for 2019, how do we get enough revenue to make that little extra increase? There's a couple things. We're going to have to increase by about 12% overall from 2018. If we look at from 2017 to 18, we already went up about 10%, so it's not outlandish. What does that really mean? So that means 20% more individual donations. That equals 25 new $5 a month donors. So if there's anybody here that can join us at $5 a month, you will help us make our goal. We can get 25. Anybody willing to do that? Right now, can commit to it. $5 a month to make all that stuff happen. All right, I see one, I see two, 3, 4, 5. All right, just give it up 1 coffee a month. Awesome, we got 5 people. Okay, 20 more. So if you can tell your neighbors, get us there. Get us just a few more folks so we can make that happen. We can keep these things happening. All right, another way that you can help out, maybe if $5 a month isn't doable right now, you can still hook up your Fred Meyer Rewards card, or you can use Amazon Smile, use our West Hill Community Association on there. If you don't know how to do that, we can help you out. You can volunteer. You can stay connected on our social media and our newsletters. And one other thing is you could join our board.
Yes, indeed. In fact, so because I'm one of the newest board members, I was like, shoot, I need something to do. That being said, I think, you know what, this presentation was so professional as I feel like there's not that much I can really say to make this really exciting. But we have former board members, and I know in the crowd we have some future board members. And this is a chance to be able to not just represent your community, but the chance to, quite frankly, just do some really cool stuff. So for me, I was attracted to this by Skyway Outdoor Cinema before I even knew the West Hill Community Association existed. Then I looked up who was doing this, and I was like, oh, West Hill Community Association. I live in the area. I should get involved. And guess what? I found out there's all of these really amazing, committed community people that are here to get to know their neighbors, who are here to speak to, different decision makers at the county to make our community a better place. And there are people that, quite frankly, just care about making this a nicer place to live. But it's already an amazing place to live. So if you don't think that you're up for doing something that sounds as awesome as this, quite frankly, you are. And you're probably, the best person to do it. Or your neighbor is the best person to do it, and you should convince them. Because when it comes to making sure all this amazing stuff happens, that this is community folk. It's just regular folk, just regular neighbors getting together and making Skyway and West Hill the really place. Well, there's no other place I'd prefer to be. So in that case, if you just go to contact section, and I pulled it up because I too am a visual person, and I just lost it because Google's a bit weird. But basically, if you just go to mywesthill.com, you go to thank you. You go to contact section, just scroll down a little bit. The application's right there. A lot of simple, straightforward questions, and yeah, join us. Step up. Be a part of this great board of directors.
Yeah.
And leave out anything.
2 things, requirements.
Oh yes, that's right. So one, you actually have to live here, and the second requirement, I'm blanking on what?
Unincorporated resident. 18
Yes.
or older.
Well, yeah, it's unincorporated.
Yeah.
So unincorporated King County, and the second requirement I'm actually blanking on.
18 or older.
Well, okay, that went without saying, but yeah. So 18 or older, but if you are youth, actually, one thing I do want to add, you should get involved. In fact, fun little fact about me, I grew up in Western New York. Yeah, shout out to Buffalo, what's up, Margie? Yeah. Yeah, fellow Buffalonian. I got involved, yeah, come on. Look, we invented wings. Why is there such rivalry between downstate and upstate? I don't even know you, Megan. I'm just guessing it's downstate rivalry. But seriously though, and there are we can talk later. But long story short, I got involved when I was 13 years old. My first civic activity ever. So if you know any youth, they can't necessarily be on the board, but they should still get involved. Shoot us an email and we can find out a way, whether it's increasing civic engagement, whether it's helping to put together activities, or whether it's just helping to organize a coffee hour so more neighbors get to, civic engagement, yeah, it's part of it. Whether it's just helping to organize a coffee hour where we can have maybe intergenerational conversations, or someone should be writing down these ideas. No, I'm listening. But something to, again, bring us together as a community. So, again, look at the forum, consider it, okay?
Awesome.
And so just to piggyback off of Cliff, so and thank you again, Devin, for putting together that recap. One of the things that we've really been working towards is just a way of making the onboarding process easier for new board members and potential board members, because I mean, Cliff, you know, Jacqueline knows, I know, like we were brought in, maybe as part of an event or, another group of folks that we were working with within the community. Someone just grabbed us and said, hey, you want to come check out, what we do on the board here at WHCA? And so next thing you know, we're initiated and we're in, and then you don't really grasp just kind of like the enormity of what goes on within this organization, like the amount of work that 11 people get done, right? Mm-hmm. And consistently, no matter what organization that we talk through as part of any event, they're always baffled by the amount of work that we're able to get done with such a lean organization. And quite frankly, with no paid staff, because it's all volunteer, right? But you get thrown into the fire, and so and then you're getting thrown into the water. It's just sink or swim, right? And we want to make it a little bit easier. We want to make it a little bit more receptive, to newcomers, so that you know what you're getting into. And so that's one of the things that we've been working towards is putting together a board member agreement, trying to draft up some documentation around just the onboarding process. What are the things we do? Who are the people that we know? Who are our contacts? Who do you talk to? What do these acronyms mean? So it can just be a little less daunting, as you come on, because a lot of people are just wondering, like, how do I even start getting involved in civic engagement? And I know folks like King County Elections want to help people with that as well, to get you on the ballot, running in these next upcoming elections, the next general election. But even starting within your own community, how can we make that easier for you to represent the people within your neighborhoods? So that's a lot what we've been putting together, is just some of that documentation behind that, because we didn't really want to bring in, new board members and just kind of throw you to the wolves. Because that's the thing, is like, if you come in and our expectations are different than your expectations, you're probably not going to succeed as well as you could. And so we want to make sure that we set you up for success. And so that going forward is going to be what we make sure that we get in front of you, is that we have the board member agreement that sets those expectations, that you can see all of our documentation, you can review our minutes, our agendas, so that you have an idea of just upfront what it is that you're signing up for. And it's very doable. Like Cliff said, it's very doable. But again, it's helpful to know, and it's helpful to see it. You know, come out to our board meetings, see what we're talking about. You know, it's the second Wednesday every month, and we're over at the KC Fire District 20 Admin Building. But again, you can review our minutes, our agendas, etc. And we now have a brand new application form on our website, as Cliff mentioned, under contacts, where you can apply to be a board member. And we have an upcoming election in April where 6 of our board positions will be up for renewal. And so if you apply to be a board member, our elections committee will review that, and we will be in contact with you to hopefully get you onto that ballot come April. And again, you don't have to apply to be nominated for election. Day of, you can self-nominate as well. But it's just an easier process for us to contact you and just kind of walk you through some of the material, and you know, maybe even meet up to just chat through it a little bit. And that's all I have. So thank you again, and hope to see a lot of names on the April election ballot.
Hey. Y'all didn't know this was a recruitment meeting.
So we're gonna go right into the community reports, and to kick us off, I'm going to open up to Captain Bridges back there. Going to just have you come up in quick 5 minutes, report any updates on the storefront.
Okay. Well, if you guys haven't met me before, I'm Captain Rick Bridges. I'm Precinct 4, King County Sheriff's Office Precinct 4 Operations Captain. You know, that young man's met me. So I've been here about a year. Major Howard, he's our precinct commander. He would have been here tonight, but he got busy doing something else. He sends his regards. And basically, just up here, we're starting a new year, and I'm up here with any questions that you guys might have. I'll try to answer them. If anybody's wondering where Jimmy Mitchell is, he's out defending his country once again. Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah. Did you guys know how he got the broken leg? How many people knew he had a broken leg? Do you know how you got that? Jumping out of a perfect good airplane. Seriously, he seriously did at Fort Lewis. He had to do a qualification jump. And yeah, he sort of took one leg out before the other when he landed. It's never the fall that gets you. 20 years in the Army told me that. Never the fall, it's the landing. Yeah, sit in the ground. Anyway, I'm opening up the questions. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I have I'm part of a local Facebook group, which is Westover Interviews, all of that. And they, of course, I encourage them to call 911, but they've been noticing an increase in car prowls over by the elementary school. Do you know, have you seen an increase in phone calls to focus people over there?
Which elementary school?
I knew you were gonna ask me that,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I don't have kids. So, I think it's the one over on 124. It's one of them. I'm trying to pull it up, there's no Wi-Fi. But have you guys noticed an uptick? I know that there were some issues with mail theft and that had sort of slowed down a little bit. But have you seen an uptick in car prowling?
Not particularly, but we could check it out. If you just call it, you know Scott Duncan?
Pardon?
Scott Duncan, do you know him?
Oh, yeah.
The community service
Oh,
officer.
yeah.
If you just call him, he can look that up
Yeah,
and let you know.
he's been really receptive, and
Yeah.
I just figured, I thought he might be here tonight. I told him to call 911, because if the people don't call, you guys don't know.
That's correct.
So I'm like, you have to call them so that they know to go out there, even if it's too late or the guy is gone or whatever. You need to let them know that there's a problem, otherwise you don't know.
Yeah, Gib's got a call. We'll be able to tell you. We get things like this because I came prepared for somebody. Someone in here wanted to know about the Green Tree Apartments in that area there. Who was that?
Oh, well, but, I can talk about that, but thanks for catching that
Oh,
guy
okay.
breaking in.
Probably-
entering into
probably
the
a lot
houses
of-
right there.
Well-
Because you did that, and that was awesome. Fast response.
They particularly talked about that response, yes. And I had Jody Hobbs. Jody Hobbs is our criminal crime analyst for Precinct 4. That's what she does. She works a computer and she gathers up all the information that basically comes from folks just like you. And then we do what we do to it, and we're able to give it back to you to tell you what's been done. At that particular area, there was concern that it seems like there might be an uptick in crime or more activity. Not really. I got a lot of ones here, things like attempt to elude, felony flight 1, illegal discharge of a firearm 1. Now this is Green Tree itself, which is the area Green Tree, south 120th place. And then I had her do the actual Green Tree, which is 6900 south 125th. And the same thing, simple assault 1, burglary residential burglary 1, a lot of ones here. So some crime, but not a big pattern or a big wave or anything like that. So that's good news. And we're trying to respond as quick as we have, as quick as we can. I can tell you, we always have 2 deputies up here besides Jimmy and Scott. The patrol up here is always 2 deputies. So in case some folks out here don't know that's what we have as far as patrol goes. If we run into something bigger than what they can handle, we can reach out. Of course, there's Renton, Seattle. A lot of times they assist us. I'm sure you folks see them up here quite a bit. And also, another great asset we have is the Metro and Sound Transit guys. Not so much the Sound Transit guys because Skyway, a train does not run through it, unfortunately, but maybe someday. But Metro most definitely, because buses come through here and they're up here quite a bit. And frankly, they got a lot of people. They are just like me, they're a King County Sheriff's deputy, but apparently they got a pot of gold somewhere because they're able to get a lot of our deputies down there, and they can assist us in a lot of cases and help us out, and they're more than happy to do that. So, yes, sir.
With regard to reporting and trends, crimereports.com, I saw somewhere that there's supposed to be a new system to integrate King County reports into crime reports. Do you have any information about
No,
that?
but I could find out for you. Ask some IT people. Probably Jody Hobbs. You'd probably know that. And I'll try to get it up to Scott, get it out to you guys.
Okay.
You guys know about Nextdoor, the Nextdoor site. Yeah, that's pretty good too. That kind of stuff works. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Question, the Green Tree, I noticed they're putting more bright outdoor lights on them now. Has that changed what's going on down there at all?
It could be. Yeah.
Because it's been about
It could be
30
just to
years
make
ago is when I
it
noticed.
a little safer. The owner's doing that because you know, once you get a reputation, people move out and they don't come back.
They're almost blinding even
their
during the
business
day.
is to rent those apartments, and you know, nobody's going to move into a place that they don't feel safe in, or unless they have to. That does happen.
One more question for the captain.
Yes, ma'am.
Are the deputies taking crisis intervention training as was, as the law was passed last year about that?
I can speak at length about this. The answer to that is yes. Every King County Sheriff's deputy who goes through CJTC, Basic Law Enforcement Academy, or a lateral deputy. Now, a lateral deputy is a guy or a gal who's coming from another agency. And we're doing real well in both departments. We're getting a lot of Seattle Police Department people. We're got one from Tukwila, one from Renton. We're getting it from the south, the north. We got some from Detroit. They're coming from all over the country to work at the King County Sheriff's Office. And the ones that come in that are laterals eventually attend a 40-hour CIT course that's ran by us. And the young men and women going through CJTC, the Basic Law Enforcement Academy, they also get 40 hours. In conjunction to that, and you're talking about I-940, last year, in fact, in 2016, we started it, which is a 3-day in-service that basically focuses on de-escalation. And I'm proud to say I actually went through that. Most captains don't go through it. I went through it because I should. So I went through it, and it's right on track with what it should be. which is, we're not really changing the way we do business. We still have to enforce the law and protect ourselves and protect you. But a lot of it is just to slow down, you know, get a better assessment of the situation, listen, you know, assess the situation. You know, don't be in such a hurry to take charge and you know, get things over with. Sometimes you have to watch. And it's just, it's sort of a cultural change for police, but it's good. Because the last 50 years, police have been trained. I was trained. You show up, somebody has to be in charge. Well, that's me. I got the badge and the gun. Okay, let's go. You know, it still means I'm in charge, but it doesn't mean you have to be like overwhelming or anything. It was very good training. I was very impressed, and I actually told the sheriff face to face that. I actually also recommended her that everybody from her on down should be going to all 3 days of it, and she listened to me. So we have that going on, and that will continue to go on. So that sort of training is definitely being done by the King County Sheriff's Office.
And
We're
it's
sort of
an
leading the way.
annual thing too, right?
The what now?
Annual, it's gonna be an annual.
Yes, yes. Well, the CIT, the Crisis Intervention Training, for the folks who don't know what that is, that's basically, you get somewhere and we're learning how to deal with people, or we learn how to deal with people who are in a mental crisis and what to do for them. And every year we also have what's called the CIT refresher. It's online, but that's okay that it's online. It's the way things are now. The one this year, I can tell you, it's 2.5 hours long because I just took it the other day. And you actually have to sit there for 2.5 hours to take this. You can't, you know, you can't push ahead or go ahead and just answer the test questions. It will not allow you to do that. You have to look at the videos and so forth.
On
Yes,
the
ma'am.
original 40 hours, do you do role playing? Because I could, you know, learn how to teach online and not necessarily really do a good job.
In the 40-hour class?
Yeah. in the
Yes, and
initial-
also in the 3-day intern and service training.
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of scenarios in the 3-day in service training.
Why are the
Yeah.
sheriffs
Is that,
not required
you more?
Yep, we'll hold questions for the open forum at the end.
Well,
Thank you.
I have
Thank
to
you.
get going, is that all right?
Just one more question.
Why are
Anybody
the
else? Yes,
sheriff-
ma'am.
Why are the sheriffs not required to take it?
Sheriff not required.
Didn't you say the sheriffs were not required to take it when you took it?
What, the CIT training?
Yes.
Oh, no, they are. They just have a different version of
I see.
it. It's a command version of it. I went through the grunt version of it, which is what the deputies do. I'm a commander, so they have like a 12-hour commander's class. No, I'm good. 64 years old and out there, and it is a lot of role playing, a lot of scenarios, and it was very good training. Very good training. Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, I'll see you guys in April, and welcome, Happy New Year, and you guys need anything, call the sheriff. Oh, one thing I do want to say, as always, we urge people, call 911. Like the young lady back here said, we can't help it if we don't know about it. And don't be afraid to call 911. In the last 10 years, people got, well, I don't want to bother people. Folks, you guys all work very, very hard to have a 911 system and to have a tax system. You are the people who you haul freight for all of this. You should benefit from it. So if you think something wrong, say so. If you see something, say something. Dial 911. Don't be afraid to do that. Now I urge you, don't dial 911 if the wind is blowing, and that does happen. The wind is blowing, and what do I do about that? Get inside, hunker down. I don't know. So anyway, dial 911 and happy to be here. If you guys need anything, give us a call. Thank you.
Next up, we have Fire Chief Eric Hicks.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I see a few new faces in here. Those of you who may not know me, my name is Eric Hicks. I'm the fire chief of this great fire department here in Skyway. I grew up in this area, just not too far over on Langston Road, and I've been here for about 1.5 years, and I've had a great time. I always like to talk about, thank you for the support you give us. I know in this atmosphere, everybody being overtaxed, it's nice that we keep the money here in the community, the money for the fire department, so thanks again for your support. Just to let you know, last year we responded to over 2,300 calls. We have a combination fire department. Some of our firefighters just walked in tonight. 2 of them back there are volunteers. They're not getting a huge paycheck to be here tonight. So I thank them for their service and being here tonight and taking time away from their families and working for you. The things we worked on in 2018, repairing our facilities, replacing outdated equipment, training for our firefighters. Last year, we lost right about 8 firefighters to career departments. That means that our volunteers, they're out testing for other departments, and they're getting hired. Our department is known throughout the state for being one of the premier combination fire departments where you come and you get training, and being that we're well known, our firefighters get hired. Now, that's a good thing. You know, it's a bittersweet, right? We are always replacing our personnel while people are out getting hired, but we're getting a great service out of them before they get hired. So it's really good. Events that went on last year, for the first time we did a pancake breakfast. Our partnership with the VFW, it was a benefit for the VFW. It was a great time, good food. We're going to try to put on one every year. We had the CERT program come back last year, which was a huge success. We hope to get more community involved with the CERT program and have a much larger class this year. We're going to start we've got a lot of calls for a CPR class, to start hosting a CPR class. This will not be a certified CPR class. This will be a citizen CPR education for the community. If we try to stay away from doing a certified class, because what we get is we get a lot of people that just want to get certified for their job. So we really want this to be something for the community, education for the community. So it will not be certified, but it will be good education for you. What I'm going to just leave you with is a way to stay connected with the fire department. We have a social media presence, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. This is a public-facing social media, so you don't need to have an account. You just go on and Google Skyway Fire Facebook or Skyway Fire Twitter, and you get the public forwarding social media. Other is our website. And then, if you just want to stop by, have a cup of coffee with me, I'm always available to talk and to chat. And if you have any questions about the fire department. So do you have any questions for me while I'm here? Yes, ma'am.
The CPR class that you're talking about giving, would there be an age limit on that? Only people over 18 or someone over 16?
That's a good question. I would say.
So I think kids would really benefit from that.
Right. We used to teach CPR in the schools years ago. So yeah, I'll think about that. I'll take that back to my CPR instructor. We'll talk about that. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Not really a question, Chief. It's a thank you from the VFW. Thank you for the donation you made of the bicycle helmets that went out with the toy one.
That's right. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. So those are some of the things you can see that we're up to on our social media. You know, things we're doing with VFW, things we're doing with West Hill Community Association. So again, thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, Chief. Next up, we have Cynthia Lamont with Skyway Water and Sewer. Cynthia?
So I'll do an intro too, because I think I know most everybody, but my name's Cynthia Lamont, and I'm the general manager of your water and sewer district up here in Skyway. I've been with the district for about 6 years, and like Eric, I have roots in the community as well. I'll give you a short few points, and then if anybody's got any questions. So we have 3 commissioners that oversee operations of the district. You have a staff of 10 that works for you 24/7, and they serve approximately 17,000 people up here on the West Hill. We provide water and sewer service, and we're supposed to do that in a environmentally sound and fiscally responsible manner, and that's what we do, and we take that seriously. One of our other priorities is customer service. So if you call us, you are a person, not a number. You'll talk to a human being, probably on the first ring. For communication, give us a phone call up at the office. Check out our website. You should also get a newsletter with your bi-monthly bill that comes every 2 months. 2018, we substantially completed a major well improvement project. So your water up in this area comes from 3 sources. Our own district wells up here on the hillside, from the city of Renton, and from Seattle Public Utilities through an alliance we have with 7 other agencies. this year, we're gonna be kicking off a Skyway Park lift station consolidation project. Hopefully that will start advertisement in February, and start construction in March or April. The other thing we're looking at is up here on the hill, there's a lot of old infrastructure, pipes that have been in the ground for 70, 80 or more years. So eventually that needs to be replaced. One of the things your commissioners look at is balancing the cost of replacing that infrastructure with what the community can afford. And they take a look at that every year and set the rates as to what's needed. Not what we'd like to do, but what needs to be done. And everything that's done, the daily operations, maintenance on the system, any sort of replacement that we do to the system is paid for only by your rates. There's no free money, no tax dollars, nothing else. Any questions? That's either good or bad, thank you. Oh, good.
What's the schedule on the changing to the digital meters?
Right now, we're in the process of replacing meters with new meters. We're doing them one route at a time. If you'd like to have a better idea, I don't know the specific schedule. If you'd like to give a call and find out when your meter is likely to be replaced, we can give you an idea on that. It's a pretty expensive project. We're doing it in 2 phases. Basically, we're replacing the meters with the new automatic meter, advanced meter reading equipment, but it won't be enabled. That'll be the last phase of the project. So right now, we're replacing the meters. They're still manually read, but eventually will morph and it'll all be read electronically.
What is the estimated savings after it's completed?
Well, for us, it'll be staff time. So right now, the staff of 10 that the district works with has been the same size, even though we're taking on more and more customers every day, every week, every year. Our staff has not increased. So typically we spend 4 to 6 days every 2 months with 6 field staff reading meters up here on the hill. So once we have automatic meters in place, they won't have to do that. It'll all be done electronically. So I don't have a number off the top of my head, but if you give me a call, I'd be happy to give you some numbers on that. Any other questions? And did you say you were from Buffalo?
No, I lived in West New York and upstate New York. It sucks.
Well, my mom's family is from there, and I lived there for 3 years, and it has its challenges.
Well, that's polite.
Thank you, Cynthia. And next up, we have Finn Hardy and Tricia Wood from Tent City 3 at Lake Ridge Lutheran.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Finn Hardy, and I am here representing the Lake Ridge Lutheran Church. We are located right by the Lake Ridge Elementary School at 112th and 76th. I'm a newer member of the church, but I'm here this evening because our pastor is away in China visiting family. So I just wanted to talk to you about the couple of things that we're doing. One of them is we work with 2 of the local elementary schools, Bryn Mawr Elementary and Lake Ridge Elementary, with their community liaisons to provide support for families in need. A second program that we help with is the Arise program. Has anyone heard of Arise? Okay, it's the Area of Renton Interfaith Shelter Endeavor. And Lake Ridge Lutheran has hosted for the month of March for the past 12 years. And so we are coming up on hosting them again. This is a group of men who come and stay in our church basement for 1 whole month. We provide meals for them, and they use our space and provide community for them. Another partnership that we're really excited about is our work with Tent City 3, and so Tricia is here to talk about that, and I'll let her say a few words.
Hi, I'm Tricia Wood.
Hey.
Hey. I'm one of the executive committee members of Tent City 3. A little backstory of how we came to Lake Ridge. We sent about 20 of our members to Columbia City Church of Hope in needs. We were in needing of a place to stay. It just came upon us. Our permit ended when we were actually in Skyway at privately owned land out there. And We normally only stay at a site every 3 to 4 months. We have to get a permit, and the max permit I believe we can get is 120 days. So we were branching out, trying to explore new options. We just kept heading door after door after door, and so we came across Columbia City Church of Hope, and so we sent the majority of our residents over there to show support that we really needed a place to stay. The amazing pastor got a hold of Pastor Scott at Lake Ridge Lutheran, and he took us in like in a week. There was a lot of meetings going on that week. We've had community meetings. The community here has been so great to us. I cannot even begin to thank you guys. You guys have clothed us, you have fed us, you have supported us. The police staff has been amazing. We've had EMTs come after, we've had some medical issues. Everyone in this committee has been beyond and above anything that I've seen in my 8 months that I've lived in Tent City. If any of you guys have any questions, concerns, or if you guys just want to come in and meet us, see us, you're more than welcome to stop by the Tent City just to see what we're about, see who we're there. Right now we've got 52 adults there, and we've got 4 children there. Mine's one of them. I have a 2-year-old son there, Ethan. He's the loudest one in the camp. Yes, or he's the one running in the street. Either way, he's 2. He's 2. It is what it is. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, we have a needs list up there. If anyone's questioning about what we might need, if anything you guys can help out. At the community meeting, I remember telling people that we needed men's clothing. Within 3 days, like, our men didn't have anywhere to put clothes. They got so much clothes from you guys, it was amazing. Anything that we have asked for, you guys have provided in spades. But if you guys have any questions for me, I am more than happy to answer it. Yes, sir.
Do we just bring the stuff to the location, or?
Absolutely, yeah. You can, anything that's on that list, or if anything you can just think of, even if it's food and sandwiches, we are not picky, we love to eat.
Is there like a point person we should ask for?
Right when you come in there, you're gonna see a desk, like literally you're gonna walk in and see a desk, and that's where the executive committee, like the ECs, someone is always on that desk 24/7. There's always security there, someone working there. You can just walk right in and say, hey, I've got some donations, and they will take it from there.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Ben, and thank you, Tricia. Appreciate you. Next up, we have Meredith Dodd from Bryn Mawr United Methodist.
Good evening.
Hey.
I like that you said hey.
Hey.
And thank you, board, for the opportunity to speak. My name is Meredith Dodd, and I'm the pastor at Bryn Mawr United Methodist Church. We're at the corner of 80th and 116th, and we're between, you asked about elementary schools, we are between Bryn Mawr Elementary and Lake Ridge Elementary, if that helps you figure out where we are. Devin invited me to come to show my face because I'm new. I've only been here since July, and I love this community. I had people fighting over who got to give me a cough drop a second ago. So I have only been here 6 months. Bryn Mawr United Methodist has been in this community for over 100 years. So we've been around a while. Some of our strongest leaders are former leaders of this board of West Hill Community Association. So that's who we are. Core to kind of our religious tradition, and I hope that Finn would say the same thing, is the idea that we love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And my church would say, I think, that it's hard for us to love our neighbors if we have no idea who they are. Right? And so I wanted to let you know about 3 different opportunities for neighbors to really build community with one another. The first is already what you just heard about with Tent City 3. Pastor Scott, the pastor of Lake Ridge Lutheran, is in China, and our church has stepped in to kind of manage a few of the meetings that he was handling between neighbors and preschool and Tent City residents. And the other thing that we're doing for that community right now is the second Saturday of every month. Medical Teams International is sending a free dental clinic van for the residents of Tent City, and I suppose for other folks who need free dental care. Yes, Trisha's nodding yes. Parking at the Lutheran Church is kind of tight, so that will be at Bryn Mawr United Methodist, second Sunday of the next, or Saturday of the next few months. The second thing is actually on your agenda. Under upcoming events, the last thing listed says WHCA Board Game Day, Saturday, February 16th from noon to 4 at Bryn Mawr United Methodist Church. Board games are great, and I look forward to playing them for 4 hours. Meeting people that you do not know and becoming neighbors in a world that seeks to divide people and prevent that is a really big deal. So this is partly to have fun and play games, but it's partly with a sort of broader heal the world agenda, which is a good thing to have. And the third thing, I don't know if this is of interest to you or not, but Bryn Mawr United Methodist, for those of you who have been there, has a great big parking lot, is wheelchair accessible, lots of accessible parking, and is empty a lot of the time. And our board, to my astonishment, voted that if there are nonprofit groups in the community, like your book club, or your Alcoholics Anonymous group, or like your cooking gourmet club that likes to eat Chinese food every Wednesday, whatever it is, if there are groups like that in the community who need a place to go, we offer ourselves to you for free. Ooh. Yeah. Sorta. To be honest, I kind of wish they had charged. That was not my decision. Because of our nonprofit status, if you are like running a business, like selling Tupperware or giving voice lessons or something, we can't have you making money on our facility. But if you are nonprofit, we can. Yes?
Would a buy nothing group be considered not nonprofit, but nobody makes money?
Talk to me later. My church folks have been waiting for me for an hour to get to their board meeting. But if you want to find our church, 80th and 116th, we are on Facebook, though not on Instagram and Twitter like Chief Hicks at Bryn Mawr United Methodist. And our website has all of our contact info. It's brynmarmethodist.com. So that's probably for a follow-up conversation. Best way to go. Yes?
And is that where I would send people who are looking for a meeting room? Is that the best way?
Yeah, it has emails and all of that stuff. People who are looking for a meeting room can do that. Other questions, comments, suggestions? Yes?
Monopoly will not be at that board game now.
Correct.
We will not we believe, like Muslims do, that there is no compulsion in religion. So we will not compel you to play Monopoly if you do not want to play Monopoly.
I'm kind of worried about everybody else.
But other people
He's competitive.
do what they want. Other questions? One final thank you actually goes to the fire department and Chief Hicks in particular. Our church also supports kids at Bryn Mawr Elementary and collected a whole bunch of toys. And one of our members said, I really think the kids would get a kick out of it if the firefighters were the ones to deliver the toys. So thank you, fire department.
Thank you, Meredith. And last but not least, Kathleen Sidwell from Skyway Library and Friends.
Just quickly, I thought I'd better come and kind of just mention, you always have volunteers, all those wonderful things you can do for everybody in this community. Another one for those who like books. The Friends of Skyway Library has existed for quite a long time. It had to get resurrected at one point. And we really are needing to get members. Some of our members are getting older, some of them having family health issues, things like this. And so it really helps if you've got availability of time to sort books, because we get donations at the library, and then people can come and put some out on the ongoing book sale shelves and pack others up to send off to Preston, because the King County will store them, then bring them back to the community for our annual book sale. So it's pretty low key, other than just the sorting of books. They don't have much room. And so I know that our main 2 to 3 members that do that all the time are getting a little bit, tired of having to dash up there and do it. They'd love to have more people able to get trained in how to do it. And it's really, put me in a room full of books and I'll be fine. So just something to think about. There's more information up at the library, and we welcome everyone the first Tuesday of every month, except for August and December, our meeting days at 7 o'clock in the meeting room there. So.
Thank you, Kathleen. And now we will move on to the guest speaker portion of this evening, and we're going to open it up to the new King County Department of Local Services and turn this over to the newly appointed director, Mr. John Taylor.
Problem solved. Whoever uses that button on the back of their pants anyway. Oh, you? Okay. Yeah, so hard acts to follow, one and all. Especially, the fire department. I was just reflecting on how awesome firefighters are, just as a general rule. And you're always supposed to start a presentation with a joke, so this is a true story. I got a call from my wife many years ago, and she said, our house is on fire, I've got to get out of it, get home. True story. I'm in downtown Seattle, so I jump in a cab. I'm going across the Aurora Bridge, and I can see all the apparatus. The fire is so big. There's like an entire block of apparatus. And there was a fire in the ground floor of our triplex apartment. Now, she locked the door on the way out. Like, the building is on fire, and for whatever reason, she just reflexively locked the door. And they have to search every room. So when they got to our apartment, the guys used a Halligan to pop the door open, and then they went in and searched it. They came and found us. There was like a public affairs officer there already, and sort of trying to talk to people about renter's insurance. And he came up, and this guy couldn't have been nicer. He's like, I'm just curious, who's on the third floor who locked their door? I did. He's like, okay, we had to break down your door. And he goes, but I've got some guys, they're fixing it. So they went up with tools, and they like put the door jamb back together, and they were able to get back to the apartment that night. So not only did they save the building, put out the fire, but they also fixed our door. Thank you. On behalf of all of your brothers. I'm here to talk about the Department of Local Services. So this may not be a secret to anyone who lives in unincorporated King County. I think King County does a pretty good job of providing services. I don't think we do it in a very well coordinated or transparent way for people who live in the unincorporated area. And that's true in the urban area, and that's true out in the rural area. I hear the same issues wherever I go, both sides of the equation. And I think it's been that way for a long time. And in recognition of that, in about 2017, Deputy County Executive Fred Jarrett decided that was a problem he wanted to fix. He had support from a number of council members. And they set about sort of trying to document how services are delivered out here in this vast area of unincorporated King County. Unincorporated King County is about 250,000 people. Taken together, it's the second biggest city in the state. Bigger than Tacoma, bigger than Spokane. It's a huge swath of land with a lot of people who live there. And we've divided up into these community service areas. This is one. I think some of you may have seen me here before talking about other issues when I worked for another department of the county. But what we want to do with the Department of Local Services is take the services that we're delivering and knit them together in a way so that people feel like they actually have a city hall, kind of a locus for government, someplace they can go that will tell them about all the services that are offered. I was lucky enough when I got this job to have a press release, and someone posted it on the county's Facebook page, and there was like one nice, you should never look at social media about yourself, just a note to people. There was one nice comment, and then there were like 70, why is the county doing this? What a waste of money. Why can't you just do your job? And those are actually really fair questions. So one point I want to make is that what we've done here is one of the marching orders in doing it was it had to be budget neutral. So basically what we've done is we've taken, we've reorganized the county in a way so that we split up the transportation director's office. We took a lot of staff from that and we created the Department of Local Services. Everybody else went to Metro Transit, which is a huge department, and they have a lot of needs for people to help run Metro as well. So There is zero fiscal impact to creating the Department of Local Services. We've essentially taken folks from the Transportation Director's office, a couple of people hired, so we've hired some new people. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And underneath it, we're putting the Road Services Division and the Permitting Division, which are really, and the Community Service Program, which Bong is with, who many of you know from meetings. And we are trying to knit together all of the local services that the county provides. We also have what we call service partnership agreements, which are kind of contracts with other parts of the county that provide services that hold them accountable for the level of service they're providing. And those partnerships are going to result in, I hope, much more transparency about services are provided. Now, right out of the gate, we have basically 4 agreements with 3 departments: animal control, on-site sewer and septic, which we're going to make building permits much easier for people who are trying to get building permits within the county. The stormwater services section, where I used to be sort of oversee that. That's sort of all that pipe that's in the ground out there that isn't water or sewer. It's all that other pipe that's out there. Parks, and I think, yeah, that's it. Plumbing and gas lines, and how they get permitted. So in the future, we're not done. We want to have other service partnership agreements. So what you might have noticed tonight is you had presentations from the Sheriff's Office. That's a separately elected unit of government. So they don't work for the county executive. The sheriff gets elected separately. We're talking to the Sheriff's Office about trying to enter into a service partnership agreement so we can get crime statistics and things like that from them and put them up on the web, and you'd be able to see sort of the level of service you're getting. Thank you. I want to have a conversation with the chief, and then ultimately probably with the Fire District Board of Commissioners, and see if they'd be interested in doing something like that. I'd like to talk to the Water and Sewer District and have a conversation with them about it. It doesn't in any way give us any control over anything they do. It just gives them the ability to have all of the information kind of in one place on the web where people can see it, which is why we've always done these meetings this way, where we try to get everybody together in the same room a couple of times a year, and then we do one big meeting at the end of the year. I don't think we're near there yet, but that's going to be work over this year. We're going to be trying to form new partnerships. We're hiring an economic development position. That is the first economic development position ever dedicated to unincorporated King County. We've had regional economic development people, but this person's job is going to be working in this community, in White Center, in Fall City, in East Federal Way, and on the Renton Plateau, on trying to get more economic development going on so that we can make those communities more prosperous and a better place. And then we're going to have a more robust community service program. So we've had sort of one person allocated to each CSA for a number of years. Basically, we're adding 2 more people who are going to be supporting that effort. We have excellent people like Jerry in the back there, who's busily taking notes, who came over from the Transportation Department, who's a communications expert, also a veteran, by the way, a number of tours of duty. Did not break his leg as far as I know, but was embedded with Special Forces. You can ask him about it, it's fascinating. And we're going to be doing a lot more communications and a lot more outreach in the community. So you're just going to be seeing more of us. You'll probably be seeing a lot of me. You'll get sick of me. And then sort of what to expect from the Road Services Division. We have a new bridge safety program. So for a number of years, the Roads Department just was talking about closing bridges if they broke. They are so depleted on cash, but we, in the last biennium, marshaled some resources, and we're going to go out and try and fix some of the bridges that are really failing in the county. Probably not an impact here. We're going to be building more sidewalks. So we've got a focused sidewalk program, and it's going to be targeted here and in White Center where we really have pedestrian needs. And we know that's a need in the community, where we have transit-dependent communities and where people are trying to get from their homes to transit, and you're walking on a shoulder on a road. It's dangerous, makes more calls for the fire department. We have a new culvert and fish passage program. Doesn't sound like it's relevant to you, but it actually is, because culverts need to be replaced, and they need to be replaced in ways that the state requires a lot of us. What we're trying to do is have a more reasonable conversation with the state about where we do that. We're required to spend millions of dollars to replace a pipe under a road versus $50,000. And my hope is that it'll enable us to do more road repairs for more roads that are in danger at less cost and make us way more efficient in how we do our work. And then we're gonna be continuing we have a road rangers program that sort of spot fixes things that are broken. We made that permanent. We converted all of those employees who are temporary employees into permanent employees in this biennium. So that is now an ongoing, fully funded program, and you'll be seeing them, continue to see them around your community. So permitting division, we're hiring more staff in the permitting division to make them more efficient. We're moving much, much more online. So if you're applying for a building permit, it'll be online rather than having to go all the way to Snoqualmie to get a building permit. We're not 100% there yet, but we're moving in the right direction. We're streamlining the already built construction, so that is if, and it's probably not as much an issue here as it is out in the rural unincorporated area, but if you just decide you're gonna build something without a permit, and then somebody down the street decides they didn't like the fact that you had a loud barbecue, and to pay you back, they call the building department and turn you in, and we send out an inspector and they find something that didn't have a permit. It's complicated to get right with the county. We want to make it less complicated for things that aren't egregious violations, something that you could have gotten a permit for. So it's just sort of a retroactive process to go for if you did something without a permit. And then we're always working on improving coordination between them, other parts of the county, other people who are out there trying to build things that are important. And I think we're making progress in that. We're hiring this economic development position. That position is up online at kingcounty.gov right now. You can just Google economic development position and you will see that position. If anybody is interested in that, if you think you know someone in the community who would be good for it, send them that job description. We are trying to hire people from the community in that position. I want people who know the unincorporated area. I don't want to hire some hotshot who came from Buffalo, New York. Because I think we all know how we feel about Buffalo, New York. As a point of personal,
you're getting the tough questions.
Okay. I will just say, as a point of personal privilege, I lived in Geneva, New York for 4 years.
Lovely.
So no one needs to tell me about the winters in the Finger Lakes.
At least we have tall buildings.
Yeah. So I just think that position is going to be really, really pivotal for this community and the other urban unincorporated areas. I have high hopes for it. That person is really going to have, they're going to have a hard time with me because I have high expectations for that position. So one thing I want to talk about right now is we have posted right now rather, 2 new land use planners. So for many, many years, King County didn't do any real land use planning. We adopted a comprehensive plan, which is an enormous, like 600-page document, but we weren't doing any real land use planning in communities like this or White Center, where you can really benefit from thinking about what you want the community to look like in the future. We're in the middle of doing that right now. We're right now in the middle of doing a sub-area plan for Skyway. So we're in the middle of that process. We're in the middle of doing a lot of outreach to the community. We had a kickoff meeting on October 31st. 30th? I wasn't wearing a costume. It was the 30th. I never do wear a costume. It's not my thing. But we had a public meeting. I think at that public meeting, we heard from some people in the community that they felt like we needed to be doing more public outreach, and that one meeting at the beginning and one meeting at the end, kind of bookending it, isn't adequate. So Jerry and I, working together, have completely retooled the outreach plan for that sub-area plan. Jerry and I, Bob, and Brad Clark, who's the planner, are in the middle of doing about 24 interviews with different people across the community. We've actually been adding to that list as we interview people. We've had suggestions for other people to interview and other segments of the community to interview. Met with Skyway Solutions board last night, and we got some really good suggestions from them. So the plan is to do a bunch of stakeholder interviews, take what we hear from those interviews and then use it as themes that we're going to sort of explore in more detail in some, I'm not going to call them focus groups, but focused meetings with community groups. And we're going to do those in February, kind of at the same time as we release the draft plan. So we'll be going out to a number of different groups. We'd like to get a lot of people there and really explore the zoning changes that we're proposing and get feedback from people in a concentrated way, but in smaller groups, not a big auditorium full of people, but like a dozen, 20 people reacting to the proposals on the zoning that we're putting forward. We're gonna get feedback from that. It's gonna impact that draft plan. We will release that draft plan and give people another large public meeting to react to it. We'll make more changes, and then there'll be a final public meeting where people will see the final plan, and we'll get a final round of input, and then it gets transmitted to the council. It's due to the council by June 28th. That isn't the end of it, because if people still feel like they weren't heard, the council is always a place you can go to make amendments to a land use plan. But our goal is, what I want to deliver to the council is a land use plan for Skyway that reflects the will of the community, so that people feel like they've really been heard. There's been rigorous public engagement, and it's going to give you what you want so that the community can grow the way you want it to grow for the next 20 years. Because that's 10, 15, 20 years. That's the life of that plan in all likelihood. That economic development person is going to be coming in as this is starting to wrap up. This is going to be their sort of guide, their map for what they're going to be looking to do to grow the community. So be looking for those meetings. We'll be in touch with you. This is a group we will absolutely be coming back to have a conversation. So just sort of the general tools we're using a lot of social media to keep people informed. Hey, was that Slido thing on here, Jerry? Did I miss it?
Last slide.
Last slide? Okay. So this is just our basic toolkit that we're using for communications. Feel free to take a look at any of these. We are on Instagram. We've got our web pages galore. We're on Twitter for King County Roads, and King County Roads has a Facebook page. We'll probably have, ultimately, more social media tools for DLS, but right now, basically, this is what we've got. And then, finally, okay, maybe not. There we go. Do I see the Slido thing on there?
One more.
One more, okay, so that's, yeah, there we go, great. All right, well, anyway, come on up, Jerry. I want you to do your spiel. On the table, there's a question, just a paper question. Questionnaire that we're using, these are basically the same set of questions that we were asking of all the people we're doing the face-to-face interviews with. Please fill one of these out, give it back to us if you have thoughts. There is also online a website you can go to where you can complete the same questionnaire. You can do it on a laptop, you can do it on your phone. So it's really a pretty flexible web-based app.
Yeah, just real quick on the Slido app. So the Slido is open all the time. So for those folks who have done a personal one-on-one interview with myself, Bong, or someone else, you don't have to do the handwritten version or the Slido version of the Skyway land use plan. But for the first survey that's up there, go to slido.com, hashtag local services. That's for all unincorporated residents. That'll be open until 1 April. That's mainly a customer service and support survey that we're trying to figure out some of our service delivery and customer support options. And then for you people specifically, under the same app, slido.com, hashtag SWH land use plan, one word, you will see the questions that we've been asking in one-on-one interviews in reference to the land use plan. So feel free to go ahead and participate either in the hard copy version of the survey or the online version of the survey, and you guys can also make sure your voices are heard. And again, if you participated in the one-on-ones, you don't have to do either. But if you want to, go ahead. It's no big deal either way. So just putting those out there.
Is this one different than the one we did at the last meeting?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were coming out here before and we did it, we were in the planning stages to this organization. And now that we're 2 weeks old, we're kind of now in the growing parts of our state. So we got to kind of improve some of these things more formally, and that's exactly what this process is for. So thank you. And Ask Local Services at kingcounty.gov. If you have any questions, any needs, that email is always manned by me and my staff, and we're very responsive, and we'll make sure that we at least kind of can hunt down your issues, no matter what they may be. Feel free to give us go ahead and send us an email. Okay? Thank you very much.
And I was gonna say that Brad Clark will be up in Skyway Water and Sewer District on Tuesday, the 29th, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you wanna come on and have a one-on-one and provide comments on the sub-area plan, you can do it there.
Thank you very much for reminding me of that. Nice work. It's good to have people looking out for you. Other questions? Any question at all? Really? It's always, yes,
Good
sir.
job. Okay. I
Thank
told you
you.
it'd be a hard one. So I know y'all are, your department's relatively young, but what do we have to do to get a Department of Local Services office here in Skyway? Bong, don't roll your eyes. You knew I was going to ask this question. Because when it comes to, and by the way, shout out to Bong, because I've kicked this idea around a couple of times. He's been super responsive, so shout out to you, my dude. That being said, in terms of economic development, having a government office or an office that deals with so much and is trying to do so much, located in a place where where there could be commerce, I mean, that's a shot of adrenaline to
Yeah.
any area.
It's as though you and I are in a mind
I
meld.
know, right?
One of the things that the county council is requiring us to do is a sort of facilities location study for the Department of Local Services. So by June 28th, we have to deliver an analysis of the services delivered to the citizens of unincorporated King County, and then make recommendations on where we might move our staff. So I will just tell you, I have a really, by happenstance, I got the transportation department director's office, which is like the nicest office in King County, just because that's where the guy who was doing the job before I got there was. There's no way they're letting me keep that office. Like, there are people, the knives are out. People want me out of that office. So I think we are going to have to figure out where we're going to be and where we're going to move people to. We're going to make a recommendation to the council. We're going to do an analysis. We're going to make a recommendation to the council. Probably won't happen in a meaningful way until the earliest it would happen is 2020, and probably not until the next biennium, because it could involve budget authority to build something or lease something. But I think we're looking at that. I think it would be really powerful to have to move 160 roads engineers into a community like Skyway or White Center, where you had people, 5 days a week, eating lunch, staying afterwards, going out for a beer or coffee or whatever. I don't want to overpromise, so I would just say we're going to evaluate it. We'll see what we come up with, but we'll certainly be looking at where we ought to be. I will just tell you this: when we had this conversation at the council, one council wanted us to move out to Snoqualmie. Yeah, one council member wanted us to move to Renton or somewhere much closer to that part of the southern part of rural unincorporated King County. And then there were council members who were like, why don't you go to Vashon? So,
Skyway's right in the center of all.
right, that's why, as I sat at the table, I said, council members, that's why we do an analysis. So, we'll be back with more information. Yes, sir.
With all that being said, since King County has tried to pawn us off to Renton and pawn us off to Seattle on many occasions, why should we really believe that there's a long-term plan for Skyway?
I think what I would say to you is what I've said. I will say to you what I said to a bunch of farmers 5 years ago who thought that the county didn't care about farmers.
It's not that they don't care about us. I'm saying we're very expensive. We don't have the infrastructure.
Understood.
or the retail
I would say judge
market.
us by our actions over the next couple of years. Ultimately, where people annex to, where they go, is it's the decision of the community. The dynamics around annexation, from what I've seen, are predicated on the condition of what's under the ground, in many cases the condition of the roads, and the condition of what's above the ground. There's a limited amount we can do about what's under the ground and the roads. I think we can do a lot about what's above the ground. And if this economic development strategy, if the sub-area plan works and the economic development strategy works, we can make this community a much more vibrant community for people who live here in the short term, and that makes it more attractive for annexation from the cities who would take you, and then the community gets to decide whether they want to or not. And from my point of view, my mandate has been really clear from the county executive. Your job is to make things better in these communities and better knit together the limited resources that we have. Does it change the resources? I want to be really clear about that. It's not like the fact that they created this department made more resources. There's zero more resources. But I believe we can do a better job of serving people, and we can do a better job of distributing them in a way that's equitable and fair. So that's what I'm trying to do. And if we do that right, it may move that needle on annexation. And then you get to decide. It's not my choice. It's just my job to do the best job I can serving people who live here.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're running a little tight on time, but I want to introduce our final guest speaker, Shannon Duffy with HealthPoint.
Hello everybody, I'm Shannon Duffy. I'm a nurse practitioner, and I just wanted to come in and introduce myself and let you know what we're up to around the corner at the Cynthia Green Family Center. It's great to kind of hear all what's going on in the neighborhood, because I can already tell this is a really cool community. I'm trying to kind of get my way in a little bit and kind of learn more about it in that clinic. So, brief bit about myself. I'm a nurse practitioner, which means I was a nurse first and then went back to graduate school, and now I can see patients independently and prescribe, and nurse practitioners function pretty independently in the state of Washington. So I work at HealthPoint, which is a community health center. There's about 13 clinic locations in the region, mostly here in South. Closest ones to here are Tupelo and Renton, of course, as well, and then Kent. So they're in the region. We serve all patients, but the focus is on folks who are lower income, uninsured, or state insurance. But really, we see the gamut of folks with private insurance and everything in between. So we focus on primary care, which means we see people for wellness visits. So that could be vaccines, sports physicals, cancer prevention screenings, child checks. We see folks for sick visits. That could be you cut your finger, you need to see if you need stitches. You've got the cold, flu, urinary tract infection, you name it. And then chronic illness, so that would be if you have diabetes or hypertension, high blood pressure, things like that, and you need kind of ongoing care for those conditions. So we partnered with RAISE. Has everyone familiar with Renton Services? Okay. So RAISE is a great organization in the area as well. They focus on providing counseling, mental health services. They've got a variety of programs, and they have the Cynthia Green Family Center, which is about a block and a half from here on 76th Street. And that's been in the community for a long time. It serves as a hub for folks to have meetings. There's some religious groups that meet there. There's a group called Kinship, which is for folks who are raising their grandchildren or nieces or nephews, a support group for that. It has a lot of resources people can walk in and use at their convenience. That would be things like a fax machine and coffee machine, computers and internet. Those are free and available to the public during the open hours. And then we decided to partner with them and have a clinic on site there because we know that this community doesn't have a lot of healthcare services, and we know a lot of folks are already using that community center, and we thought that'd be a great partnership. Folks who are already familiar and comfortable with the community center can come in and also get healthcare if they need, and it's open to anybody else as well. So we are open 2 days a week at this point. We're open on Mondays and Thursdays from 8 to 5. It's a very relaxed feeling place. You walk in, it feels like a little home. I just found out from Cynthia that her dad owned a family practice clinic there for a long time before that, but it's kind of gone through various iterations decorations, but it feels like a very comfortable place when you come in. Hopefully you'll feel welcomed at home. It's not a big hustling, bustling clinic. It's not supposed to be. We want people to feel relaxed there. So you can come in anytime. We accept new patients. Like I mentioned, uninsured or insured. If you're uninsured, then we have a sliding scale program that gives discounts depending on income. So let's see, I talked about clinic and raise, health point. That's the gist of it. Anybody have any questions off the top of their head? Talked a little fast, I know we're here tonight, but
Thank you, Shannon. And just real quick, I want to allow a quick word for the VFW, our host, Mr. Chuck. Also, I want to say, Chuck, it's great to see you.
Two things. All the cookies and stuff, please eat. So I don't have to take them home and put them on. VFW's been very quiet. At least it looks that way. Thanksgiving, we gave out 24 baskets. 4 of them went to 20. Most of those baskets went out to Fort Lewis, to our we have 5 adopted units. Their commanding officers gave us the list of families that need help. That's where they went. Christmas was 24 baskets. Along with the baskets, each family was adopted by one of our post members. The baskets was worth total almost $9,000.
Wow.
The toy run that I thank the chief for the helmets for the bikes, that was in conjunction with the motorcycle club, Apple Dumpling Gang. If you've ever, well, our dance floor upstairs is about the same size. There was no room to dance on the floor. There was that many toys that were brought in. Almost $40,000 worth of toys. Half of them went to Fort Lewis, to their wish tree. The other half went to Child Haven. So it gets around. And for myself, for those that don't know, I have lung cancer. I also have another lung disease that I inherited from my mother. So it makes it kind of rough at times. And at the same time is, where were you 50 years ago? I know where I was. I was on a little ship named USS Enterprise. 6,000 people aboard. We were off the coast of Hawaii to qualify to go to Vietnam. We caught fire. We lost 26 guys. And the worst thing you want to hear aboard ship, because you got no place to run, is this is not a drill, this is not a drill. General quarters, general quarters. At this same time, 50 years ago, I was sitting in Hawaii on the ship. We had already been brought in, but we couldn't make any phone calls. We couldn't leave the ship. We did not have the cell phones like we do today. So this time of the year, yes, the holidays, what I stop and think about what happened. But at the same time is, I'm happy I'm healed. And I'm happy to be with everybody here and continue the good work that you do. The VFW continue to help the community and anybody else they need. Thank you.
Thank you.
you. And finally, any community concerns, any quick questions from anyone that hasn't already been answered? All right. Well,
Let's do some drawing.
Anything online? Any questions online? No.
Not that I've seen. Just a thank you to the fire department for more commenters on here. Very popular.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's do the prize drawing.
Can I just do it from here? Is that okay?
Sure.
I know that you can hear me. All right, our first number, we have 3 gift cards. They're each $20, 2 from Nesbitt's and 1 from Grocery Outlet. The first number is 407-2487. Yay! Come on up. Come on up. Come pick. All right, number 2, 407-2490. Woo! All right. And, take your pick. Here we go. We believe. 407-2486. Pick another one then. I know a few people had to leave a few minutes early. Yes. So I'm just going to leave the last 4 numbers. 2473.
Me.
Whoa! Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you for coming.
All right. So as previously mentioned, we do have a upcoming community coffee hour. That's Saturday, February 9th at the Skyway Library from 10 to 11:30. We have our next board meeting on February 13th, again, second Wednesdays of every month at the Fire District Admin Building. And then finally, the board game night that Meredith mentioned, board game day, Saturday, February 16th, noon to 4. And again, if you are at all interested in joining this wonderful board we have here, we would more than love to have you run for the elections in April. And so just, you can either contact at mywesthill.org or go onto our website, mywesthill.org. Under the contacts page, there's a link to a form to fill out. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for sharing your evening with us, and we'll see you next time.
And also your forms if you have any.
Yes, Jacqueline will collect any of the King County surveys that you filled out.